Hello. Thank you very much for joining me today. How you doing? I've got an interesting subject here, okay? This thread came up. Americans, how safe do you feel in the UK? Basically the title. I don't want to add anything else so as to not influence your answers. Oh wow, very clinical of you. Asking for your personal perceptions in comparison to where you were based in the US before moving across the pond. I like that. I like that. I mean, I guess I will say that I've never lived in the UK. I've never moved to the UK. I've never visited the UK. I I would love to, but I can't help but assume you probably feel safer overall, right? I mean, it's kind of like America but with no guns. I wonder what Brits would think of that description of the UK. America but with no guns. Sorry, I'm distracted by a dog peeing on my mailbox. Anyway, let's see what the comments have to say. So much safer. Even though I had my very unfirst even though I had my very first break-in attempt here. Oh wow, a break-in attempt in the UK. That is scary. I mean, it's scary no matter where you live. At least I knew they probably didn't have a gun. So I went rampaging down the stairs butt naked with my 6D cell mag light. What? And that is almost unfathomable to me being an American to go down. That's like a death wish to chase them down the stairs naked with just a flashlight. I mean, I guess you got to do what you got to do. It's not like you're just going to lay down and die, but I'd be curious to know the stats on burglary here in America. How many of them are armed? I assume a lot. They scarpered at the sight of a fat, naked, 50-something-year-old woman in rage mode. Oh, wow. Also, knowing the police aren't packing heat makes me so much more willing to call them. Now, that's fascinating. I've never hesitated to call the police because they have a gun. I certainly would feel more comfortable when they pull me over. I'm not going to lie. I've watched way too many videos, so when police pull me over, I got my hands on the steering wheel and I'm not moving. I'm not opening the glove box without their express permission. That type of thing. Because I've seen way too many videos. But I guess you don't have to feel that way when you're in the UK, huh? So in that sense, yes, I would feel more comfortable around the police. But as far as calling them, I mean, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second. If someone's broken into your house, wouldn't you kind of wish the cops had a gun if you were calling them? Maybe not. Maybe not. Weirdly, I feel less safe around teenagers than I did at home. They can be aggressive and unpredictable. That is fascinating. Teenagers are freaking weird. Kids are weird. Now that I'm old, kids, they are unpredictable, especially when they're in like herds. These herds of teenagers. You never know what they're going to do. Little scoundrels. But I can see that. Like, I can't think of any specific examples, but I feel like I've seen, maybe in movies, groups of teenage gangs of UK kids. Is that how it really is? Like, kids can kind of be scandalous scoundrels in groups in the UK. And I mean, they can, like I said, they can over here in the States too. But I do feel like kids kind of, maybe it's because of the walking culture. Kids aren't walking around as much here in America. They're not walking around. In the UK, they're walking around. So they're kind of in herds, potentially getting into more trouble. I need to read some supplies or replies. Oh my God, can I talk? Please just let me be able to talk today. I need to read some replies to this because that is quite fascinating. Okay, I don't know why Reddit tried to not let me view this reply, but I got it, guys. Weirdly similar for me as it comes down to the probability of a bad encounter, and in the UK, the vast majority of those events have been with young to mid-teens. What is it with the teens, y'all? Possibly influenced by the places I spend time in while in the UK versus in the US, such as on public transport and in the city center. and a lack of transport options for unsupervised teens back where I lived in the US. That could be it too, huh? The transport, the public transport that those teens are causing troubles on. Oh man, that's funny. Oh my god, this is actually crazy how many people have come up saying, yeah, the teens in the UK. You know, as far as like your actual physical safety, you're not going to be like shot in the UK, but these teenagers, man, they're very intimidating and aggressive. I've had years of problems with gangs of them on my doorstep. Okay, I just have to say that's just hilarious. We're going to move on now, but that is funny because I go into these with a certain expectation usually, like, oh yeah, they're just gonna say the UK is safer overall because there's no guns. But there's these funny little, caveats that are always so interesting. No earthquakes, no tornadoes. Oh wow, I didn't think about the natural disaster aspect of it. No black widow spiders, no brown recluses, no rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, copperheads. Feels pretty safe. That is a direction, once again, I did not predict. And that is so true, huh? Y'all don't get hurricanes either, do you? No earthquakes. Could it really be that much of a difference? Do you guys get any natural disasters? Like, what the hell? Because the USA gets earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, and the UK, wildfires, and the UK just doesn't get anything? I feel like it's a question from the all-powerful AI overlords. Let's see. Most common natural disasters in the UK. There's got to be some. Oh, you can't see it. Less prone to extreme natural disasters than compared to other parts of the world. Flooding, high winds, coastal erosion. That once you start listing that as a natural disaster, I mean, I understand that's really serious, but that's like a slow motion thing. That's not like your house is going to be destroyed tomorrow by the coastal erosion, just in 50 years. Heat waves? Wow, that's actually crazy. So flooding, basically, that's it. So effing safe. I don't go around parading that I'm American and I keep to myself respectfully, but it's just so safe. I'm from a major city in the US. Friends killed in gang violence. Yeah, the gang stuff. Luckily, I've never had to actually interact with that at all. I've never experienced any type of gang activity in my life because I don't live in major cities. But it's wild what you see on videos and stuff. I can't believe that shit actually happens in my country. Pretty pathetic. The gangsters wandering around in cosplay puffer jackets here are not interested. I love that. The cosplay gangsters, because we absolutely have cosplay gangsters walking around in puffy jackets here in America as well. So stupid. I'm sorry. But glorifying gangsters is so lame, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But we also have the real gangsters that like kill people. So yeah, they're just bored kids as far as I can tell. Sit next to me on the tube, no fear. I feel extremely safe. I lived in only London, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what that is. It looks like New South Wales, but there's an E in there. Alone and with flatmates. I'm not looking for the cardinal directions. I don't think this dude is saying he lived in the north, south, east, west. Could there be a more broad... What does this mean? I don't know what this means, y'all. Sorry, I said y'all. I know that triggers some people. Including myself. When I say it, I'm like, y'all. Actually, sometimes, I don't know. I don't care. Moving on. Pretty safe yet. I also felt safe living in the north side of Chicago, despite what people say about crime in Chicago. See, that's interesting. Okay, there we go. I like a little bit of nuance, you know. In the cities here in America, there's the good parts and the bad parts of the cities. If apparently the north side of Chicago, relatively safe, and I believe that. You know what I mean? That's probably the side of Chicago you would go visit, and it's safe. I don't know, maybe the south side of Chicago, I genuinely don't know, but there's definitely unsafe parts of Chicago that you don't want to visit. That's a fact. Most cities in the world have pockets of crime in them. Yeah, that is kind of a fascinating, like, what would you call it? Phenomena, kinda. That, for whatever reason, major cities always, typically, seem to end up with kind of like a certain section of town that's riddled with crime. I don't know what that means, but it's just an interesting thing that tends to happen, huh? Because I've seen videos like, like videos of this is the worst section of London, and it looks kind of rough. I don't know. Very safe, live in a village in Greater Manchester. Okay. Less safe, I'm not saying that word. That's like a dirty word on here on YouTube. I don't know what that. Why would you feel less safe in the UK in regards to that? I'm trying to think. I just don't understand. That'll get you anywhere, and in any country, it doesn't discriminate. Same safety, I mean, going back to this, I guess you would think it would have to do with how many people got vaccinated and that type of thing, but I feel like both countries, most people did. So I don't know. That's a touchy subject, isn't it, guys? Same safety with that. I think I'm allowed to say racism. Okay. Much safer with guns. That makes sense. I don't really consider my safety in terms of crime, so that's not applicable. Also nice to know there's no rabies here. Yeah, rabies that's a scary thing. Look up some videos, of aquaphobia. That's a condition you get with rabies where once it progresses far enough, you become physically afraid of water. Just you cannot drink it. And that's when you're about to die. You'll die soon after that. Rabies is always, or like 99% fatal, if you do not get the vaccine or whatever within a short period of contracting rabies. You will die. And there's two forms of it. There's furious rabies and there's stupid rabies. The furious one is the one you see on TV where it turns you into a zombie, and makes you foaming at the mouth. And they'll become aquaphobic where they cannot drink water. Look up videos. It's fascinating. I think rabies is fascinating. Also horrifying. I am scared to go near, anytime an animal, hisses at me, I'm like, whoa! We gotta go to the hospital. Not really, but... it is scary. I don't think very many people actually die of rabies, though. I guess they get it treated really quickly. I think it's relatively rare, you know what I mean? It's relatively rare, because that is very dangerous, so they do a good job of, if something has rabies, it's taken care of, okay? They go into the forest, I don't know what they do. They find them, they get them, it's gone. I feel safe around police officers, but all in all, I'm much more paranoid about theft here in the UK. Huh? Okay. I feel like there is a little bit of stereotype to that a little bit. Like you've seen Oliver Twist. You've got to pick a pocket or two. Love that movie. The original. Back home, West Philadelphia. In West Philadelphia, born and raised. Sorry, guys. You're more likely to get robbed by people who know you to some degree, but even otherwise, it's generally a rule of thumb that you don't break into people's property unless you know they don't carry weapons. See, that's kind of that is the flip side of the Second Amendment, you know what I mean? It has some amount of deterrent to it, you know what I mean? I can imagine if you're going burglarizing, and somehow you know, hey, that guy has a shotgun, maybe we'll pick a different house. So I have never been or known anyone that has been a victim of theft burglary. But in the first 2 years I moved to the UK, my partner has gotten her moped stolen twice. Once at her home, once at her job. Well, if it's parked outside, then that's, I could see that happening, yeah. Plus a third attempt at our new home. People will steal, kids. I'd say mostly kids will steal, well, maybe not kids, I don't know. Kids to like drug addicts will steal bicycles and stuff here in America. If you don't chain it up, it might get stolen. We had 3, or they'll, a lot of people will get their garage broken into. Mostly meaning they left their garage door open and some dickhead goes in and steals stuff. I'd say those are the most common types of burglary theft. Or actually, you know what number 1 is? Number 1 would be out of your car. They go around checking the car doors. That's what, that's what you'll hear on the news or whatever on the neighborhood forums. Like, hey, some kids are going around the neighborhood checking the car doors. That's annoying. Anyway, trying to find stuff in the cars to steal. Stolen twice. Okay, plus a third time at our home. We had 3 bicycles stolen, 2 attempted entries into our home. Now that's scary. That's the one that's really crossing a line for me. I really don't like the idea of someone breaking into my home, and luckily no one ever has tried to. And I know of 0 people that have had their homes broken into. Except for one, but that was kind of weird. Like, he knew the people and they were in like some kind of weird drama. Anyway, that was not like a random break-in to steal stuff. Anyway, we literally repurposed our baby monitor as a surveillance cam. Okay. I'm also much more wary of young street punks and drunken hooligans. The young street punks, man. Goddamn kids. Not to pile on, but yes, extremely safe. I live in a pretty rural part of the Midlands, so I'm not worried about guns, Star-Spangled Book banning. That's a tongue twister. Mass protesters, blah, blah, blah. Trigger-happy cops. I seldom lock my doors and am happy to send my 12-year-old daughter out to see friends across town. I'm surprised no one mentioned, sending their kids to school. I'm not going to lie. I'm surprised no one mentioned that. Because, oh man, I don't know. Just as a dad, my son isn't going to school yet, but that will, sadly, I'm a kind of a paranoid guy with that type of thing. So even though of course, it's very unlikely to actually happen, and you know what I'm talking about, it's still something that, unfortunately, you might have nightmares about it and that type of thing. Because it could happen here in America. God bless America. That's a fascinating thread, guys. I'm not going to lie. I could read that all day. And I didn't even know we're at like 20 minutes. So I'm looking at that. I'm like, okay. We'll do it again another time. Because, wow. There's no way you guys can listen to my voice for another minute. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And, of course, I guess I'll say to wrap it up, overall, yes, the UK seems safer. Like, that seems kind of obvious. And other than, like, gangs of kids screwing with people, you've got to pick a pocket or two. And maybe some more thefts, like moped thefts. But as far as violent crime, it seems much safer. And that's obviously the case. I'll see you guys tomorrow.